because hope is tied to desperation. And whenever we know that we have desperately wanted outcomes for anything, those are all expectations. And expectations are the conditions that we're putting on love, not only for ourselves, but for others, for every single thing in our lives. The hope and the desperation or goals and visions is directing source, that is telling source what to do. Hey everyone, it's time for another weekly Spirit Guide report. This is your report for February 16th through the 22nd, 2026. And if you don't know me yet, I'm Annalisa, and welcome. This is where I do a report from our Spirit Guides directly to you. If you subscribe below, you can get the weekly integration emails that go with this Spirit Guide report directly, again, from your spirit guides. And I will add your specific spirit guides into all of my meetings so that these land a little bit more clearly for you. You get more information every week. And that's just down below. So go ahead and join us. It's a blast. So this week, I went in with an intention. And again, now that I'm on YouTube, please comment below if you have ideas for next week's intentions. I'm just starting this up. And I really would love to have ideas because these are just the things that are coming up in my mind. And as I know, the collective is all experiencing pretty much the same things at a global, massive scale right now. So I'm picking and choosing based upon what I'm experiencing. And I believe what is going to be interesting. But please start commenting because I want to know what I should be asking in these every single week. So the intention that I chose for us was I was looking for a reading for the general energetic opening that we are all experiencing right now. If you're not familiar with what's happening, we are experiencing a whole lot of astrological events that have really never happened before in modern human history. All of us are experiencing this. These are all unprecedented, and it's all really amazing, good stuff that's pushing us forward. However, the energies can be harsh too. There's always a shadow to the light. So I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page with what our spirit guides want us to know about this giant energetic opening that is starting this week and will continue for quite a long time. I'm not an astrologer, so go hit up some of those YouTubes to see more of what I'm saying. But if you guys have been a little bit on this path for a while, you would have noticed that the last 2 months leading up to this have been awakening because we are heading into Aquarius, and that is the time of awakening for humankind. And we're there and we're all awakening. Let's get a reading for this energetic opening, shall we? When I first go into the readings, I go to a specific map in my mind. It's a vision map, and I go to this very specific place where I know I am where I'm supposed to be. I am with the guides that I'm supposed to be. And they're starting to give me a very strong message the minute that I enter this space. And when my boots hit the ground, so to speak, I was given a 360-degree perspective. Usually they give me the up and down perspective, and we've done that a lot in the past readings. But today they made me look around too. They made me look all the way around. They turned me all the way around. And they also had me look up and below. So it wasn't just this vertical perspective shift. It was a perspective shift of all around. And it was still. And it was so calm. And they're saying you have the tools to be here now, to be in this calm, to be in this present moment. You have all the tools to be in this present moment with calm clarity now. In the last only what has been 8 weeks alone, they have given you the tools in these readings to access this calm, stable energy. They said, you've done the work. You know how to hand over every single thing that is taking your energy from you. What is left is calm and an overview and a 360-degree plus perspective, up and down too, and the ability to see from all levels. And as I'm walking towards the area that I usually go to, my feet are connecting with the ground as if they're magnets to the ground. It's a solid footstep, an easy footstep, but there's a connection every footstep. And I have a slow gait, and there's nothing to rush towards. There's nothing to rush away from. My nervous system is active, but it's not reactive. And I crossed out reactive. My nervous system is no longer reactive. It is active. It's powerful. It's alive. I'm taking very deep breaths, and my face muscles are all smooth. I have no concerns. This is just the perfect, calm moment. Usually when I open the first area, which is the lesson presenting itself, I let it come to me as if I'm watching a stage, as if I'm watching a show. And today I'm alone in the audience. I usually am, but today my attention is brought to actually being alone in the audience. And this is me or you. Whenever I say me, this is also a metaphor for you. Either you or I, whatever your perception is, I am in the audience of my life. I'm alone in the audience of my life, alone in my heart, knowing that nobody else will ever fully feel or know what or who or where or why I am or you are. I'm going to say that again. I am alone in my heart, knowing that no one else will ever know fully what or who or where or why I am. And that's okay. That's my sovereignty. That's what this spiritual sovereignty means. And it's my strength. It is where any future pain resides as well, if that hasn't been resolved yet. And if you want to review some of that last week, I'll put it up here somewhere. Last week we went through that. But this aloneness is my sovereignty, but it's also where pain can reside if we're not digging into that and removing it and clearing it. But today, as I'm realizing that I am calm in my life, I know that the stage isn't going to open. The curtains are not going to open today. I came expecting the curtains to draw open and see something and give you guys a report, but it won't. I came expecting a show, but now that I'm here, I understand that the characters took a day off and the theater employees also took a day off. And the message that they give so readily every single time I sit in this seat and I am expecting to get a message, it won't come today from this stage. They're telling me the future doesn't matter and the past no longer matters. What matters is we take a breath right now. It is all that exists. Right now is the only time that truly exists. And they're saying the dizziness, the disorientation that we've expected and that we've experienced in the last few weeks or months has prepared us for this exact moment of pure rebirth. This week, we are experiencing new energy. We are experiencing new beginnings, all of us. And usually new beginnings come from endings, pure and complete endings. So what we are all experiencing as we are in this calm that we can all bring into our life, and we should be bringing into our life at least once a day right now as we are ending many things. And this could be thought patterns. This could be actions that we keep taking. This could be conversations we keep happening with ourselves, with others. This could be relationships that are ending. This could be jobs that are ending. This could be moving. This could be anything. This could be anything in the world. A lot of stuff is just transitioning, and we are in that moment right now of the transition and in the eye of the storm almost. And I don't want to call it a storm because that creates havoc, but we are in this beautiful stillness right now in between some endings and the changing of them into new beginnings. And there might be a little bit of sadness and pain associated with the endings, but we really need to be taking a breath, because that breath of life is going to propel us into new and exciting. And everyone's going to have the opportunity to be experiencing this new, exciting burst of fresh, green spring life coming forward very, very soon. So in the second area that I do a reading, they give a correction to the energetic reading, correction to what the first reading was. So we don't really there was really no message. So we don't really need a correction, but they expanded a bit and they said, not everything needs an ending, but certain cycles do. They're saying people coming and going in our lives, things coming and going in our lives, dreams coming and going in our lives. The release of many of these is going to be happening, and it probably you've already started feeling these happening. The release of a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of letting go of many things in the last few weeks and months. Realizations of things that you need to let go of, the things that are sapping your energy, and you don't want to sap that anymore, and you need to let go of those things. You need to let them heal. You need to hand them up to source, let source heal it, and bring it back into your heart fully whole and healed, so that you can step into more in your life. And what they do with this release, either if you release it completely or you give it up to source and they give it back to you cleansed, they're giving you, in most senses, or you are presenting yourself with emptiness. Just like in this auditorium, just like in this audience, it was empty. But what they're saying is fill it with what is destined for you. Hold this sacred space. This emptiness is now called sacred space. Hold this sacred space for what is to come for you. And we're all doing this right now for ourselves. It's not called hold on to hope anymore, because hope is tied to desperation. And whenever we know that we have desperately wanted outcomes for anything, those are all expectations, right? And expectations are the conditions that we're putting on love, not only for ourselves, but for others, for every single thing in our lives, right? So we want to be moving more towards unconditional love for ourselves, unconditioned, unexpected, undesperate love for everything around us, for our entire being. So they're also reminding us, while it's very fun and it can be a wonderful practice to be looking forward to life, having visions for our life, having goals for our life, having wants and desires, that's all very fun to play around with in our imaginations. But in our sacred space that we're holding right now, that we have just cleared and emptied and healed, they're saying, hold that sacred space open. We're not putting the hope and the desperation or goals and visions and dreams, because that is directing source. That is telling source what to do. And right now, in the energy that is happening right now this week, they're saying, hold it open, because you do not want to be holding yourself back in any way, shape, or form this week, next week, going forward. So have fun with your imagination and see, and just be so expansive in your mind. Go there. Think of what you can be and what you can create and what you can become in this lifetime. That is so important. But in that sacred space, they're saying, don't tell us what to do. We are doing it for you, and we know you better than you know yourself. Because remember, as human beings, we're stuck in knowing and remembering everything that this lifetime has given us. all of the pains, all of the experiences. We are looking at every single thought. We are doing every single action through the lens of what we know and what we have expected. And they know our entire lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of everything that we're trying to remember right now. They know who we are and they know what we really want. And they know what we're capable of and what we're strong enough for. So they're saying, hold sacred space, empty sacred space, and let them fill it. And just sit back and watch them fill it with all the glory that you can possibly hold. Holding sacred space means holding it with honor for yourself. Hold it with honor for others and their plans. Hold it with honor for everyone's and your wishes, hopes, dreams, but empty it out and do only sacred actions if they're called for this space. Aligned actions, those actions that feel like all of a sudden somebody lit a fire in your soul and you have to go do this for yourself. Okay. Yes, they're saying you have a job. We're human. We have a task and to-do list to do. Go do it. Go do it. Yes, get those things checked off. Check, check, check. But they're talking about your purpose work. They're talking about your joy work, your growth work, happiness, fulfillment, freedom. They're looking at aligned relationships. We talked about that last week. Aligned relationships of all kinds, energetic flow, divine communication. They're talking cash flow too. That's all going to start coming online. They're saying if you have some divine action that's all of a sudden putting you on the right path, go for it. That is part of filling up that sacred space. But don't fill it up with those check marks, those boxes that are already there on your desk waiting for you for tomorrow because you left those because you don't want to do them. That's not what we're filling this up with. We're filling this up with the divine actions that are coming to you all of a sudden. So in the third area, I always go and grab a treasure. I call it a treasure, and this is really more of something that you can mentally see, that you can almost physically hold on to, that will get you to understand where they're coming from a little bit more. They know that we need tangibility, and sometimes a vision is more tangible than something that I get and I'm telling you. So I like to get something that is something that you can envision yourself, and that's more of what I call a treasure. So today, they officially, and I've done this many times, today they officially have given you treasure. The official stuff, like you're walking into a cave and it's filled with pirate treasure, just mountains of gold, mountains of silver, mountains of all of the riches, necklaces dangling from everywhere, crowns and just jewels sparkling everywhere you can see. I've never gotten this before, even though I've always called it treasure. And you're standing there amongst all of these jewels, this gold, and you have this stunned look on your face, probably like me when I'm first looking at the treasure going, this is interesting. This stunned look on your face, and it's like you had this crown plopped on your head and it's all wonky. It's all, on the side. And there's necklaces falling off of it that have gotten intertwined in it. And it's a stunned look as you have, all of these jewels kind of covering you too. This is where you're headed in all of the areas in your life, they say. But it is not this easy. There are still lessons. There is still learning to live with. We need to learn how to live with riches and hold them and make them work for us instead of abusing them and spending them all in one place at one time. And I always get those stories of people who have won the lottery, but they wound up, destitute. That's what they're talking about. In order for you to be given all of these riches, you have to have the container, the system, the nervous system, the energetic nervous system to hold it. The knowledge of how to hold relationships, how to hold money, how to hold a job correctly, the job that you want correctly. It's all of this education that not only comes with how we think, how we process our emotions, how we act, how we speak, and how we energetically align with all of this flow. Every single one of those things is just energetic flow. So we need to really come into this higher education piece with energy because it is flowing to us, and it's flowing to us very quickly from this moment on. So they're saying all of these riches, we need to learn how to hold them and make them work for us instead of abusing them and spending them all in one place at one time. They're saying it's like poverty versus the generational wealth of all of these. And when I say generational wealth, I'm talking about within the life wheel. It's always a life wheel. Every single one of those areas of the life wheel, you can be building generational wealth. And when I say that, it means also you are building this and teaching who is following you in your lineage, but you're also healing what has happened in the past. So it's like a double-edged healing. You're healing what has happened in the past at the same exact calm, beautiful time that we're standing in right now. That is the educational piece for everyone that's following in your lineage after you. And that could be your actual sons and daughters, or it could be friends and family that are watching you, that are learning from you as you model this new behavior. And so they're asking you, they're giving you a little bit of a job here. They're asking you to list out the 8 to 12 most important areas of your life at this time. And this could be your friendships and social life. It could be career. It could be finance or money in any way. It could be spirituality. It could be fun and hobbies. A lot of us forget to do that. And we absolutely must have fun and hobbies. Health, nutrition, your physical body and your movement. It could be creativity. It could be love and partnerships, romantic love. It could be pets. It could be your sleep patterns. That's a really important one. It could be your environment, your physical environment that you live in, maybe a work environment. It could be your life mission and your contribution. It could be your parenting styles. It could be how you're processing grief. Yeah. How you process closure. This could be how you are interacting with your community at large. It could be your sexuality and intimacy. Maybe that's intimacy with yourself as you're coming into more limiting beliefs and you need to soften to those. Maybe it's intimacy with a partner, or even becoming more intimate with how you speak with other people to let them into your space so they know how to communicate with you better. All of these can be and there's so many other ones. I was just writing down as fast as I could. So dip into that. Really start feeling how you can start making generational wealth in all of those areas, but start with maybe 8 to 12, and just start listing them out. That's what they want you to do, because it's all energy. It's all always just energy. And the more you have flowing in one area, the more you're going to get flowing in other areas too. So chip away at this and let's start breaking away those dams. And the second part of this exercise that they're giving us with these 8 to 12 pieces is list out how you can either be using them for short-term gain versus how you could be supporting them with the reverence and giving them the actual support that they need. Giving the flow that's trying to burst through the support that it needs to funnel it into the right direction in your life, meaning the actions you're taking, the structural frameworks you're using to do so, the mini daily rituals that you're doing to support everything that's happening, the attention you're putting onto it. All of those things, all of those 4 things I just listed are masculine energy, the masculine that is supporting the energetic flow. It is giving the support and the nutrition for the flow, the creation of all of this. In this flow, this structure that's supporting the flow is going to be giving you that generational wealth in all of those areas of life, but also it's going to bleed into social wealth, community wealth, world health, world healing. They're saying it always starts with you. You can't go out and start to heal the world from an empty cup. And that's what we're seeing everywhere right now. That's why we're seeing everything breaking, is because everyone is seeing something happening. They're trying to fix it with their own empty cup. And they need to go home to themselves first and heal their hearts. And then from an overflowing cup, go out into the world and heal. And it will happen. But let's all come home first and do all of this work, because they're asking us to bring this calm, bring this moment home. You have to do the work first in yourself, and you will be given the treasures. The treasures are like they're promised to all of us right now. It's wild. Your treasure is all of this. This actual treasure is coming your way, and it's coming fast. You'd better know how to hold it, respect it, nurture it, and to build the compounding benefits of it, or else it'll fall through the cracks and it'll disappear. That's what they're saying. Or else it'll fall through the cracks and disappear after the richness of this current time is over. I'm not an astrologer. I don't know what the time frame is. I have a feeling it's quite a long time, at least a year or two. I don't know. If you're an astrologer, tell me. But they're saying do the work now in this space of calm. And what they're reminding us, remember in the 2026 reading, they told us the time of self-love is over. That's over. What they have replaced it with is self-reverence. And what self-reverence is, as I've sat through this for many, many weeks, self-reverence is the accumulation of self-respect, self-reliance, self-confidence, self-love. It's wrapped in self-sovereignty, self-esteem, self-awareness, self-knowledge and understanding, self-identity, self-worth, self-acceptance, self-trust, self-improvement. I could go on, but you get it. It's all of those really positive selves that are coming through at this point that we are healing, that we are identifying with now. The wholeness that we are is coming up, and it is self-reverence. And we can finally be here in this calm state of, I am all of that. I am sovereign. I am calm. I am here because my nervous system can be calm. I am safe. I am loved. I am allowed to be loved and given riches by the universe. And in the fourth area, this is always the guide's choice, and it never disappoints. And this time I was just met, and they never really speak to me. I don't really hear very often, but this time I did. And the words were, my dears, welcome home. They're throwing you a homecoming party. It is calm and respectful. It's happy and it's quiet and it's perfectly comfortable. It is rich and it's nourishing. And interestingly enough, there are no other people. It's just you and your guides and divine beings, and you are surrounded by them in this luxurious, quiet, nourishing atmosphere. It is a party atmosphere. It is a welcome home party, but it's different than most parties are. They're saying this is all coming online this year. Expect that. And usually they don't tell me to say expect. Usually expectations are what we're putting aside, but they're saying this is all an opportunity that's coming our way. Get ready. Do the calming work. Do the structural work. It's like a woman readying the nest for a baby, readying the room, getting everything prepared for the birth of her child. But they're saying it should be everyone doing this now, but for everything in all of the areas of your life. Get that nest ready. And they're reminding you, if you are still feeling bogged down with external stuff, because what we see out there right now is very distracting from the internal work. Have you noticed that? Everything that's happening out there is distracting you from the internal work, and that's done by design. The more you can go within and calm, the more you're going to be able to let go and see what's happening around you on the outside. And they're actually doing it very, very well by design. Very well by design. Come back. Do the creation within your own heart. Fill your own heart, and then you can actually see what's happening on the outside, and it won't bother you anymore. They're saying everything has a higher plan. All of that external stuff is not your business anymore. This is where they got really into it with me. And I can barely read what I wrote because I was writing so fast. So bear with me. It says, it's not your business anymore. They're saying, be the calm that is watching the light and the dark emerge. They're saying, we aren't the warriors. We are not the warriors. Put down your sword. It is double-edged. Your sword is double-edged, and you keep cutting yourself. The light is expanding so fast. The energy of the light out there is expanding so fast that the pressure of the light energy is pushing your sword towards you and into you and cutting yourself. We see this all the time. People's light is actually their good feelings, their good intentions is hurting them deeply. They're cutting themselves with their own sword. And it's not because of them, it's actually because of energies that are too big out there. So drop that sword, do the internal work, they're saying. It is the most important thing that any of us can be doing right now still, as we prepare, as we remain in the calm. Work on being in that calm. Even if you're just pretending, if you don't even feel calm at all right now, they're saying start imagining that you do, start pretending that you do. One of the most important spiritual lessons that I ever got that started me on this whole thing was I pretended to believe when I went to a church service one day. I pretended that I believed. And all of a sudden that roof opened and there was Jesus, and he didn't leave my side for 2 years, even though I left the church, had nothing to do with the church. I just pretended to believe, and that opened a little space in my heart for it to bust through. So if you are still struggling, just pretend. Pretend that you're calm. Pretend that your nervous system is completely taken care of. Pretend that you know that you are safe and protected. Just put it all in there, your entire heart, okay? And that's the end of the report today. Remember, if you're not part of the Spirit Guide Reading Integration emails, go ahead and sign up down there today. We have a lot of integrations going out. I also give summaries that make this long video a little more digestible. So go ahead and do that. Next week's reading is coming up too, so I can't wait for that. Let's get going. Let's buckle up and let's see where we go. I love you so much. Bye, guys.